So good morning, everyone. Good evening to Anita and Nick. I'm so pleased to have you here, host you here. This is amazing conference because we are all connected through from different corners of the world. So Belgium, of course, Germany right now for me, and Anita and Nick from New Zealand. So how we are going to proceed with this today's setting. So today Anita will start with her presentation on Indo-Pacific dynamics, power shifts and regional cooperation. Then her PowerPoint will be for around 35 minutes. Then we will have question and answers. Then we will have a 5-minute break. Then Nick with his presentation, and then we'll have the same procedure, question and answers, and of course we will finish on time. So as we'll start, I will Abbott. So Dr. Anita Abbott is the chair of APSI Forum Committee, so Asia Pacific Security Innovation Forum. And she's also strategy director at the Asia Pacific Global Foundation. So she also teaches international relations and cultural diplomacy at Charisma University. She was also a researcher at NATO Defense College in Rome. She published so many different articles, for more than 40 articles, and also different books. So recent books was published in Palgrave. And two other books were focused on the practice of strategic foresight analysis, power shifts and regional cooperation. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Vera. Thank you, Elana. And to see everyone here. Power shifts and regional the geopolitics, new global and regional actor engage in cooperative and competitive dynamic. First, we will be discussing the region and we will have a look at the cooperation and rivalries between India and China, and then also cooperation between and then another session, another topic, not topic, explore is Russia's pivot to the region. And one more controversial discussion is about Japan's shifting security. Then from this discussion, we will need to think about the possibility of the alliance between Russia and China and Japan. Is it possible?
Japan and South Korea are not natural allies. In 2002, there was TSD was established, Trilateral Strategic Dialogue. This was established by Japan, the United States, and Australia, and it has become a central element to any US-led collective response to regional crises in the Indo-Pacific. Although Japan and the United States work together closely, Japan also engaged a coalition outside the alliance with the United States. It is GCAP, or Global Combat Air Program, where the United Kingdom and Italy are also involved. How about China? Well, China's economic success depends on its trading partners such as India, Japan, EU. So, how can China maintain its political interests without jeopardizing its own global trade strategy? And it is expected that China will protect its interests in the region. China has been able to design an indigenous framework that integrate Eurasia and the Indo-Pacific through China's Belt Road Initiative that comprises One Belt, One Road and Maritime Silk Road. China has been able to establish corridors like New Eurasia Land Bridge Economic Corridor that connects China, Europe, Russia, Belarus, and Kazakhstan. But we're not going to talk about that because we want to focus on the Indo-Pacific. But I just want to show you that China has been able to design this framework. So I'd like to say that Eurasia is not absent from the Indo-Pacific narrative, especially Russia's geostrategic landscape is changing due to the melt of the Arctic. And in 2015, China formed the LMC, Lancang Mekong Cooperation, where the ASEAN nations are also the members: Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Thailand, and Vietnam. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, when great powers are involved, disputes are not avoidable. But unilateralism can be complementary to multilateralism. Unilateralism is similar in the sense that the members have shared objective, and they work together for achieving the objectives and basically just to get the job done. But it is different in the sense that unilateral is more temporary. So what is the significance of the region? I just want to discuss one example, the significance of the Indian Ocean. Now, the Indian Ocean is the world's third largest ocean after the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean. It serves as a critical maritime hub. It connects the Middle East, East Asia, and Africa with Europe through major sea lane. And it's also the home of some important choke points, such as Strait of Malacca, Strait of Hormuz, what else? Bab el Mandab, and Mozambique Channel. And remember too that the Indian Ocean is rich in energy resources and mineral. And of course, it will make it a strategic, economic, and geopolitical asset. More than 60% of India's oil is shipped over this ocean, Indian Ocean region. And almost 80% of Chinese oil is shipped. And from here we can see that there will be tension and dispute between India and China, especially with China's pearl strategy in the Indian Ocean region. Now, Russia is interested in the Indo-Pacific region, and we can tell the reason. The reasons are obvious. The Indian Ocean strategic importance for energy and trade flow drives Eurasian engagement in the Indo-Pacific, and also protecting critical maritime trade routes and energy supply chain is a priority for Eurasian states. But some might argue that, well, if India, Russia and China works together or form an alliance, it is not a threat. Not a threat to the European powers, for instance. But okay, maybe it is valid, but we need to remember PLN modernization, even though it is less advanced than the United States and Europe, but the modernization of PLN is significant. And now PLN has more than 200 surface combatant and missile submarines, and has developed anti-identification system. And this can be part of the cyber tool. So China does have interest in the region. Economic imperatives, that's one of them. Ensuring access to key markets and resources to sustain economic growth. And then, of course, geopolitical influence by expanding strategic presence and shaping the regional order to align with its interests, and safeguarding sea lanes and choke points critical for its energy and trade flows. Russia's presence but ongoing rivalry between China and India, what does it mean? What does it mean to Russia? Well, in the past, Russia has been able to embrace both India and China through BRICS. So can China and India get along? The immediate answer, no, without the involvement of Russia. As we know, a string of pearls strategy of China in the Indian Ocean region, such as what do we call that? The establishment of ports in Gwadar, Hambantota, by India as a threat. But if India refuses to be part of China's Silk Road, and South Asian countries and ASEAN countries join China's Silk Road, then India will be isolated. So will India join China? Will India be able to get along with China? Well, the immediate answer could be no, not without the involvement of Russia. Possibly this is a very provocative statement, but just think about that. Will, India and China have ongoing tension. Will they get along? For how long can they get along? And again, the answer can be, well, no, but not without the involvement of Russia. But with the alliance between China and Russia in the energy security partnership in the energy security, interestingly, India is embracing Iran. So then again, it has implication on the United States. Now, another question is China and Russia, or how can I say this? Can China and Russia be an invisible alliance? This is another interesting question that need to be researched further. The immediate answer, no, not without Japan, but is it possible? Because they have different approaches. They certainly the ideology are different, but China and Russia's relations, especially in the Indo-Pacific, are not going to be invincible without Japan. In the news, I forgot where I read them. China actually has urged Japan to be in the bloc, like Asian bloc, because Japan is Asian, not Europeans. That is the claim of China. So, is it possible? Well, Japan has been a good, reliable ally, although it relies on great power. Historically, it relies on great power, but it is a good, reliable ally. So if, for example, if the United ship is under fire, maybe Japan can assist it. And the involvement of Japanese troops in the United Nations, if the United Nations is involved in gray zone activity, this is also a pathway to Japan's constitution changes. Then the question still requires an answer. Is it possible? Because, for example, Japan maritime self-defense is actually channeled through the US-Japan alliance. So some might say, no, it is not possible. But today's allies can be tomorrow's adversary. I'm not saying that it is a little bit, how can I say it? How can I say this? This is just something to think about. Okay, if Tokyo wants to have influence in the East Asian sphere, then it needs to work toward Pan-Asian. So, Japan's shifting security posture with the threat perception over North Korea's nuclear program and China's increasing assertiveness and effort to revise Article 9 and enhancing Japan's military capabilities, and also the notion that the US global influence is declining. This is something that This is something that we need to think about, whether Japan's shifting security posture means that there is a likelihood for a new formation in the region. For now, if the EU expand into a combined bloc more powerful than the United States, then it might drive China and its neighbor to position themselves as the next great global power bloc. So again, a homework for us: is it possible the alliance between Russia, China, and Japan? The Indo-Pacific region is undergoing complex power shifts that shape regional cooperation and competition. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for navigating the future of the region. Eurasian states' engagement in the Indo-Pacific through diplomatic initiative and strategic alignments is also shaping the evolving geopolitical landscape. Then emerging powers should navigate the implication of these partnerships, balancing opportunities and challenges to preserve sovereignty. Okay, I think that's all from me. Thank you very much.